The film begins with a very large battle between the Avengers, including Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, Natasha, and Barton, against Strucker, who we know currently has Loki's scepter and wants to conduct experiments with his scientists to be able to use it and open a portal between Earth and the Chitauri army. We know he wants to do all of this to revive the Hydra organization. We also learn that currently there is no longer a SHIELD organization at all. Strucker has prepared a lot of new people to fight the Avengers, most notably Wanda and Pietro, two siblings we have seen before. They are individuals with very special abilities, such as Pietro being extremely fast and Wanda having the power to influence minds and other very strong abilities. Of course, they became like this due to the experiments that Hydra conducted on them. The battle ends with the Avengers' victory, but then Wanda comes and influences Tony Stark's mind, making him see a strange dream. He sees himself transported to the Chitauri world, where all the Avengers, without exception, are dead. Captain America appears as a spirit and tells him, "You are the reason for our death." But Tony manages to wake up from this strange dream, takes the scepter, and leaves. Thus, the Avengers succeed in their mission. When the Avengers leave and return to their ship, Barton is injured from the battle. They start flying and all agree that the moment of farewell is near since the scepter no longer poses any concern. They decide to have a farewell party together, after which Thor can return to his realm and everyone can go back to their lives. After that, they go to the Avengers headquarters, or more precisely, Stark Tower. There we see his robots, which have become highly advanced. We also see an Asian scientist, and we learn that she works with Stark and is a specialist in nanotechnology. She tells Barton not to worry and that she can heal him in just 1 hour, no more. Stark suggests to everyone that they use the time they have together until the farewell party to conduct some tests and examinations. Tony and Bruce begin their tests on the scepter, and Tony discovers that the scepter has something strange added to it, which is artificial intelligence. He realizes that this was Strucker's plan, to add artificial intelligence to the scepter, making it extremely powerful and capable of evolving on its own. Tony tells Bruce that he also has a similar plan. His plan is to create artificial intelligence, or more accurately, a synthetic human with extraordinary powers to be able to defeat the Chitauri army when it arrives one day and to protect the Earth. Bruce is initially opposed to this idea, but after long discussions with Tony, Bruce is convinced. Consequently, they decide to start their plan to create Ultron, the artificial intelligence they want to develop in secret without any of the Avengers knowing. In the end, Tony and Bruce begin their experiments. They continue working extensively, but unfortunately, they fail. On the day of the party, Tony and Bruce leave to join the rest of the team, leaving the place to Jarvis, the artificial intelligence, to work on the experiment independently in hopes that it might succeed. Indeed, while they are at the party, Jarvis successfully completes the artificial intelligence, which is Ultron, and Ultron's mission is to maintain peace throughout the entire world. However, we see that its data system has developed very strange theories, namely that in order to maintain peace globally, the Avengers and everyone else without exception must die. Ultron takes over Jarvis, and we think that Jarvis is gone for good. Meanwhile, the celebration begins and all the friends are attending the party. During the party, everyone gathers and they try to lift Thor's hammer as a kind of challenge and fun. But Thor tells them not to bother themselves because it's not about physical theories or a specific way to lift the hammer. Instead, you have to be someone destined to lift it. But do you know who the only one who managed to move it slightly is? Yes, Captain America. However, he didn't fully lift it because at that time, Thor would have been very upset with himself. We'll understand this conversation more in the upcoming videos. Anyway, my friend, a strange sound suddenly appears in the middle of the place, and we discover that it's Ultron. He has managed to form himself using Tony's robots and has also taken control of many other robots. A huge battle begins, but the Avengers succeed in defeating them. After that, everyone gathers with Tony and tells him he should have asked them first. The bigger problem is Ultron can destroy Jarvis and can form in any robot and control any device. This way, he can form a complete army and fight them. Additionally, there's a bigger problem, which is that he took Loki's scepter with him. At the same time, he meets Wanda and Pietro, and through their conversation, we learn that they are angry because they were orphaned and their parents died when they were 10 years old due to a bomb explosion from one of Stark's factories. That's why they want to destroy and take revenge on them, so they agree with them to help him remove the Avengers. Then we move on to the Avengers, who find out that Strucker is dead and also learn that the one who killed him is Ultron. They decide to predict his next moves, but the situation becomes very tricky because they can't use any electronic files or artificial intelligence, because there is something in a version of it with Ultron. So they decided to use paper files, and during their search, they find an arms dealer from North Africa. They say that it is very likely that Ultron will contact him, specifically, and that he is located in a place called Wakanda. The dealer has very important things that Ultron would want. Indeed, we move to Ultron, Wanda, and Pietro, who meet with this arms dealer and make an agreement together. Ultron wants a strange material, and the material is rare and powerful. He takes it. Then a misunderstanding occurs, and Ultron finishes off the arms dealer. Then the Avengers arrive there and the battle between them begins. Tony keeps hitting Ultron, and during this time, Wanda intervenes to carry out her mission, and indeed she manages to control Thor's mind, putting him into a strange dream where he sees that the world will be destroyed and that he will be the cause. After that, she tries to control Barton's mind, but he shoots an arrow at her head, disrupting her. Pietro comes to her aid, removes the arrow from her head, takes her, and they leave the place. When Wanda left, Hulk was still on the ship and hadn't gone in with them, so she controlled his mind as well, putting him into a nightmare. This was a big problem because he got very angry and started destroying everything around him without realizing it, as everything he saw was just illusions. At that moment, Iron Man came out, having prepared a sort of prison to be able to control Hulk at the right time. And indeed he does that, but Hulk easily destroys that prison and breaks out, continuing to destroy everything. People in the city start to panic and run away from him. Iron Man comes to him wearing a much stronger suit than the one he had on before, and he keeps hitting him to try to stop him. In the end, Iron Man is able to lift Hulk and take him to the top of an under-construction building, destroying the building completely. When Hulk regains consciousness, he is shocked by what happened and starts to revert back to Bruce Banner, calming down and returning to normal. After that, they all board the ship and remain silent because everyone is disheartened by what happened. They decide, after the destruction they caused in the entire city, that they need to hide in a safe place because they have become wanted and hated by everyone. That place is Barton's house, and indeed, they go there and are surprised to find out that Barton has a wife and children because no one knew about it except Natasha. As I mentioned in previous videos, they have a long-standing acquaintance, Yamiya. After that, he leaves them a picture to understand the truth of the dream or nightmare he saw. Meanwhile, Ultron reaches the scientist, Helen, a nanotechnology expert, and asks her to help him create a human body. But she refuses, so Ultron uses the scepter to control her, to start carrying out his requests. At Barton's house, Tony and Captain America are arguing as usual because Captain America believes that Tony is the reason for everything that happened since he created Ultron in the first place. But before the argument escalates, Barton's wife comes and asks Tony to fix their electric tractor, so he starts walking with her and goes to the tractor, where Nick Fury is waiting inside. They continue talking together, and we learn that Fury has been hiding here since the time of the dam incident. He tries to console Tony, telling him that what happened is not his fault, and they think together about what they can do next to solve the problem they are in. After that, everyone starts to gather and think together about what Ultron's next move might be, and they reach a conclusion that Ultron is definitely planning to create a body for himself. So, they start to inquire more about Dr. Helen because they know she is the only one who can help him. At the same time, Helen is already under Ultron's control and is creating a body for him using a material they managed to extract from the soldier, which means something extremely powerful. Indeed, the whole team starts to move to reach Helen, but they are intercepted by Sam, who is now with Professor Savage at a lake called Insight. This lake has mysterious and strange abilities, such that if you swim in it, you might see the incredible future if it's destined for you. Thor wants to do this to understand the truth behind the dream or nightmare he saw because of Wanda. Meanwhile, Barton is at one of the largest data centers in the world, while Thor enters the lake. He sees many things, including the destruction of the planet, the Tesseract Stone, and many intertwined elements. Meanwhile, Ultron has started transferring data into the new body. Since this body is considered human, Wanda can read its thoughts and discovers that it wants to annihilate everyone and destroy the universe. She becomes very frightened because they didn't agree on this, so she decides to bring Dr. Helen back to her senses. And she does that, which stops Dr. Helen from transferring the information as Wanda influenced her. Ultron hits her with a projectile, and Wanda and her brother Pietro escape before he can hit them. After that, Captain America reaches Dr. Helen, who is dying, and learns from her what happened. He finds out that Ultron wants to build a body for himself and that they must stop him because if he succeeds, he will destroy the entire universe. And no one can stop him, so Captain America informs Natasha and Barton about what he learned, and they manage to locate the vehicle containing the scepter's energy. The whole team starts heading there, and the first to arrive is Captain America, who breaks into the vehicle. He and Ultron start fighting each other, with Captain America trying to block all the attacks with his shield. However, as Ultron's assault continues, the shield slips from him. Natasha then descends from the plane on a motorcycle and grabs the shield. She throws it back to Captain America, and Barton pulls the two of them towards the other guards who are protecting the body. Natasha tries to jump onto the vehicle, but the guards take the entire vehicle with Natasha and fly away from the location. Meanwhile, Captain America and Ultron are still fighting each other inside a train, but Captain America can't handle him alone. Without warning, the twins Wanda and Pietro join in and help him, siding with him against Ultron. At the same time, Natasha tries to take the body from the vehicle and jump into the plane. But at the last moment, one of Ultron's minions arrives and disappears, so Barton takes the body and decides to go to Tony Stark to try to find a solution. Meanwhile, the train that Wanda and Pietro are currently on goes off its tracks, and Ultron quickly escapes from it. Wanda tries to stop the train using her powers, while Pietro runs at high speed to warn the people. After that, Barton arrives with the body to Tony and Bruce, and Tony decides that instead of destroying the body, he will implant his artificial intelligence, which is Jarvis. We discover that Jarvis wasn't destroyed at all, but was hiding from Ultron. At this point, Tony's perspective is that instead of destroying the body, he should implant artificial intelligence in it, which would be very powerful and capable of protecting the universe as he had always dreamed. He tries to convince Bruce, who is very reluctant about the idea, but persistence is more effective than magic, and Bruce is eventually convinced. They start working on this experiment. We then move to Ultron, who has kidnapped Natasha and imprisoned her in his hideout. However, Natasha doesn't give up and tries to send signals to the Avengers secretly. Barton receives these signals and finds her. Captain America, Wanda, and Pietro arrive to learn Tony's plan. They object, wanting to stop the activation. However, Thor activates it with his power, after seeing a vision in the pool of sight that this body is what will protect the planet in the future. Indeed, the body activates, and we see this being, for the first time, who thanks them for creating him. However, the team doesn't trust him and thinks he wants to destroy the universe like Ultron. But he convinces them that he actually wants to destroy Ultron and maintain peace throughout the universe. They all unite and become one team. After that, they are able to locate Ultron, who is in the city of Sokovia. So they decided to evacuate the city first so that no one would get hurt in the upcoming battle. Pietro starts using his speed to warn people and asks them to leave, while Wanda, on the other hand, controls people's minds to implant the idea of evacuating the city and starting to leave. At the same time, Bruce reaches Natasha and frees her, asking her to escape and live their lives together. He tells her that the Avengers will be able to solve the problem and won't need us, and we can live our lives away from all this happening. At the same time, Iron Man reaches Ultron, who is hiding in a church. In this church, there is a supernatural device made using the strange material he took from the arms dealer. Then, a huge number of Ultrons start arriving, thousands of them, and they begin to attack the Avengers. Finally, the body they created arrives and tries to fight Ultron and control his mind, but he fails. Ultron activates his device, which essentially lowers the city a few meters below the surface. Then he raises it again, but this time it is elevated much higher than normal. Ultron does this because there is a large amount of energy beneath it, very, very high, that he can use in a war with Wakanda. At the same time, Bruce wants to take Natasha, as we mentioned before, and escape. However, Natasha makes him transform into Hulk so he can join the battle with the others. Indeed, Bruce transforms and charges in to join the fight. Meanwhile, Wanda is very exhausted because she feels she is the reason for everything happening since she helped Ultron from the start. But Barton comforts her and tries to convince her to get up, become one of the Avengers, and join the battle. Indeed, she is convinced by his words and starts fighting with them. At that time, the city is very high above the ground and all the people on it are going to die. But thankfully, SHIELD's flying base arrives just in time, which hasn't been destroyed, and it has many ships to save thousands of people. Indeed, the rescue ships start to depart so the city's residents can board them and be safe. Meanwhile, Iron Man arrives with Rhodey, each in their suit, and they start fighting with the others. At the same time, Thor is fighting with Ultron. Then comes the body they created, which is named Vision, by the way, and he helps Thor. He is able to lift Thor's hammer, which was proof that he is worthy and the only person capable of lifting it and maintaining peace on the planet, of course after Captain America. After the team successfully transfers almost everyone to the rescue ships, they go to the church to all fight Ultron together. They gather around the device to prevent Ultron from stopping it, because if it stops, the entire city will fall and destroy the planet along with all the humans on it. So their plan is to first eliminate all the Ultrons and then blow up the city while it's in the air. And indeed, they finish them all off. After that, Thor, Iron Man, and Vision go and keep attacking the original Ultron until they destroy him. Some of the Ultrons remain and try to escape, but the team starts destroying them all because if they leave even one, it could potentially become a new army. But there is still an Ultron on a plane trying to kill them, so quickly Pietro protects them and takes all the bullets instead, dying in a very sad scene. When Wanda sees her brother dying, she becomes extremely furious and kills all the Ultrons around her at once due to her immense anger. There is one completely destroyed Ultron trying to crawl to reach the device and press it to make the entire city fall. But thankfully, Iron Man and Thor go and completely destroy the city before it falls to the ground and causes destruction. This will lead to a huge disaster that we will see later in the upcoming videos. After that, we see Hulk in the plane and Natasha talks to him, telling him to come back because everything is over. However, he hangs up on her and leaves with the plane, deeply affected. We will find out where he is going with that plane in the upcoming videos, and we move on to Vision. Vision is engaged in a final confrontation with the last Ultron, who tries to take control of him and suggests they join forces to destroy the Earth. However, Vision kills him, and with that, everything comes to an end. Afterward, Barton returns to his family and Tony heads to the Avengers headquarters, which is filled with scientists working there. Nick Fury goes to Natasha and tells her that he has found Bruce's location, but she tells him it's okay. Let him go wherever he wants as long as that's what he desires. We also see Tony and Captain America saying goodbye to Thor, and each one returns to their life once again.